First musical instrument, as I recall, and it was probably the recorder. You know, when they start the kids off with those at like 9 or 10. Then I went pretty much straight to the piano, and I wasn't such a good piano student, so I would end up improvising things just, you know, on my practice time instead of learning the Mozart or whatnot. Yeah. Yeah, and then it went from there to guitar. When you're 11 years old, you don't deserve the nice guitars, you know, I mean, because scratches and all that will come with the territory. So, no, it was just something my uncle brought home. I think it was called Global or something like that. It was one of those Sears catalog deals, and yeah, that's about it. It was an SG looking thing, you know, like the AC/DC guy uses. It was kind of fun. I was pretty much an educated guitarist. I mean, I really, you know, you always end up having to be self-taught on any instrument. That's the way I feel. But yes, I did have teachers that would guide me through certain things like scales and you know, all the things you need to do, like learn tunes and you know, this is the proper fingering. Yeah. But when it comes to creativity, we all know that nothing can be taught. I would definitely say not until 16 years of age when I discovered jazz. There was a gentleman named Paul LaRose who actually went to school with Jaco and Pat Metheny in Miami. And so he had this kind of otherworldly kind of attitude towards jazz, which was very much compositional based and a little bit more, you know, I mean, he was very much into the tradition, but he was also outside of that as well. So that was a great guide for me to have at that age. You know, learn the tradition, but here you also have, you know, let's work on Bach, let's work on, you know, tunes that are outside the norm of jazz, and that was a great thing. I thought that was a great foundation, at least. Wow. Well, in the rock bands, you know, I did write some music, but I don't know if I would call that music at this point. It was, you know, chord progressions and all that. But I think jazz, earnestly, maybe going when I went to college. You know, that was just something you did. Actually, the first piece I wrote was a classical piece based off of Debussy. And it was from a theory class that we had at USC. I went to USC for a few years, Southern California. And after that, then I started writing more on the guitar, because that one I wrote on the piano. You have to really have that whole orchestral possibility on the piano to write that kind of music. So. It was really a performance that did that. It wasn't an album. It was Joe Pass with Ella Fitzgerald. My friend invited me to that, and they were playing at the Universal Amphitheater, which is this gigantic place, you know, and where rock stars usually, you know, perform. And so when I saw Joe Pass, I was kind of like, you know, I was 16. I was just starting it out at jazz, and I was pretty amazed at like the facility. You know, when you're young, facility really counts. I mean, you really are impressed by, you know, wow, that guy can really play a lot of notes, or that guy can get all over this instrument. And prior to that, I was listening to, you know, people like Led Zeppelin, or groups like Led Zeppelin and Van Halen. And so to see Joe Pass sort of play circles around that was really impressive. And so that was the first sort of inkling towards jazz I had. Then I saw Alan Holdsworth the following month. So the polar opposites within the jazz realm, I think, you know, still. And so essentially, when you know, seeing both of those gentlemen play were both enlightening experiences, and that sort of just opened the door to like, okay, this is the area I want to lean towards now. And the good thing is, I just graduated high school, so I had to make a decision, that life decision that you have to make. Okay, am I going to college? Am I going to continue to try and be this or that? So college was great because there was a jazz program at USC. So Paula Rose was also the main guitar instructor at USC, and so I think he was really initial sort of boost in that educational process. Rez Abbasi.